Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the American Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the Sgt Slaughter T54E2. Now this is the WWE version of the unskinned T54E2, and if you haven't guessed by the title, as always, this is the video for which I will get the third mark of excellence in this tank. And this tank is definitely one of the best Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tanks. It is so good. That's because its mobility is pretty decent. As you can see, you get up to a decent amount for a heavy tank. Your armour against tier 6s, 7s and 8s is okay. It's not brilliant, but it works enough that you can ricochet shells here and there. Not quite as good against tier 9s and 10s, obviously, but what tier 8 heavy tanks armour actually truly holds up against tier 9s and 10s. And you have this fantastic 3-shot auto-loader for 360 alpha on each shot. It's just such a damn solid auto-loader. You do have the ability to run a single shotgun on the T54E2 as well, but the auto-loader is just better. Even though the single shot actually gets, you know, a better aim time, it technically gets like a better DPM. Just the ability for the tank to dump the clip so fast, because, you know, the intro clip is 2.22 on this tank, as you can see. It dumps out damage really, really quickly. You can get the reload down to a really good level. You got 10 degrees of gun depression. I mean, 226 pen on the standard AP and 255 pen on the APCR is really, really damn nice. I mean, it's just a solid all-round heavy tank, and the ability to put out the damage is one of the key factors that makes this tank so nice to play. And I've just always really enjoyed it ever since they released it back. Well, because obviously when they first released it, it was just this Sgt Slaughter, and then they released the unskinned version a bit later as well. And then they released the G.I. Joe Cobra T54 at tier 9 as well, which is just stupid as well at tier 9. Yeah. Okay. So, what do I run in terms of a crew on the Sgt Slaughter on the T54E2? I run a pretty generic heavy tank crew for it, and that is Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Trap Mechanic, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving. Off-Road Driving to help me hit that top speed that this tank can achieve. I run the gun perks to make sure that this gun is as good as possible, because you don't want to waste your damage potential by missing shots with the auto-loader. And then Trap Mechanic to make sure that when I'm in a brawl I can get my tracks back on at any decent speed. And in terms of equipment, I run the powertrain, the vertical stabilizers, and the optics. Now you can run, it's up to you really, you could run the powertrain to give you that extra little boost to the engine, get you up to 47 kilometers an hour, or you can run the traction system at go at 49 kilometers an hour, have that better track traverse, but you just sometimes lack that little bit of oomph, which is why we're helping it with, you know, the stuff like off-road driving, the engine extra, I think it gives you an extra 1 horsepower per ton, putting the powertrain on, stuff like that. But again, it's down to you how you want to set it up. There's multiple ways you can set it up. I mean, at the end of the day, if the 2.9 second aim time that this tank has is really annoying for you, you could also run a GLD and knock it down to like 2.5 seconds or 2.6 seconds. I can't remember what it knocks it down to. And as you can see, so far, in this replay, we're up to 2.8k damage. It's 9-7 currently. We've got 2 shells left after shutting down that Object 244. And we've got to turn around to help our friend over... Well, I say our friend over here, he's dead. We've got to turn around to deal with this IS-6 that is threatening the guys in the middle. Because most of my team is... Well, pretty much, actually, I say most. My whole team is on the 1-2 line, and we really need to deal with this. Unfortunately, the first shell only tracks the IS-6. It doesn't pen, which makes this whole engagement exceptionally awkward. But if he's firing standard, he will struggle a little bit to actually pen the Sgt Slaughter. And clearly, he just looked at me and went, no, I'm going to shoot the KV-2 instead. The IS-6 is now on 6 HP, which means it only takes 1 shot to go through him. We're going to make sure we get this shot through his lower plate, hopefully. So we go for the shot through his lower plate, shuts him down. We end up getting penned by both him and the HMH-51 because we end up pulling out a little bit too far around the corner. And now we've awkwardly lost that little bit of HP. We do put the final 2 shells into that HMH-M51 Super Sherman, though, which is decent because that puts him down to a decent amount of hit points to take out with the next clip. But we realise that there is a general behind us, and it's 6-5. This game is staying remarkably close. We've just got to wait for the reload, because we need to get rid of that general from behind us, because he can be an awkward proposition if we're not careful. So we've now reloaded the clip. We're going after this general. He's fired his clip. We end up shutting the general down. We've got 1 shell left in this clip, and it's like, oh, you know what, do I fire this? No. We're going to hold on to the shell that the Sgt Slaughter has here. Instead of reloading the clip and having an awkward AP count. We're going to try and see if we can put this one shell into the HMH M51, which will put him down to a one-shot the next time we have a clip loaded. So we get a shot into the HMH M51 there, which puts him down to a one-shot, and we thankfully get away from him before he manages to get a shot into us. We're up to 4.9k damage, and once again, just waiting on the reload. This is our last clip of AP. The light tank is pressuring our heavy tank. So you know what? That Super Sherman can come after me for sure. But if we get the reload in, we can help these guys with this light tank that is running around. But fortunately for me, but fortunately enough for those guys down there, they actually do get the shot in to shut the Vanguard down. Now there's only one tank left. It's the Super Sherman. We get the shot in to shut down the Super Sherman, and just like that, we finish the game with a nice total for the Sgt Slaughter, 5k damage. And because there's no ribbons back there, we couldn't tell. We actually had 8 kills there. 8 kills, 5,045 damage. The Devastator, the Radley Walters, the High Caliber, the Sniper, the Top Gun, and 2080 base XP. Really nice game for the Sgt Slaughter. Always great to get a Radley Walters medal. And yeah, you can see that the replays are from a little while ago, because there was no, I think it was pre-artillery buff nerfs is what it was, and it was pre-ribbons, so we don't have the ability to see how many kills were on, that sort of stuff. We're on to the second replay. The second replay, we are on this map. Heilbronn. Heilbronn. It's Heilbronn. Run Heilbronn. How many times can you say Heilbronn in 60 seconds? Heilbronn, 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 Heilbronn. So, we are going to go to the opening position at F7. We're going to go to the position at F7 because we want to try and see if we can catch anyone out that's crossing the D line, and therefore we can get some early damage out with our clip. And obviously, we are fairly close to our third mark at this point, and to do the Sgt Slaughter, you had to do quite a lot of damage. I think when I did it at the time, to get the third mark of excellence on this tank, it was about 4,500 damage, something like that. For it to, get substantial movement is the way I'd put it. So you're talking like, 0.5 at least. So we're within range of it. I think we're at 93.4 before this game, if I remember rightly. I made a note somewhere that was at 93.4. So, we need 0.6. So you're looking probably about 5 to 6k damage is what we need to go up. Good start. We push aggressively, we catch out that Type 59-2, and we get a full clip into him. Unfortunately, he just catches a shot into us, which puts us down to a very satisfying HP number. 111. 1. I'll take that. But we also do him for 1112. What are the chances of that? I got 1111 health. We did 1112 damage. Okay. Sure, RNG, sure. Thank you, Mr. IS3, who is very stock. He ends up driving out. We get very nice 3 shots into this guy. Hopefully this last one pens. It tracks him in place. Up to 2,238 damage to start this game up in the first 2 minutes. When you're going for a third mark, we'll take that every day. We are in a very aggressive position, and we've not really, except for the IS3 and the medium tank, and now these 2 heavy tanks behind us, we've not really found much, which is quite surprising at this point in Heilbronn. So we're just waiting for the reload to go in, and then we can try and get some shots into this 244 and the other heavy tank. Something tries to shoot across, but the 244 drives out in front of us, so we're not going to turn that free damage down. We get the shot into shut him down. We get a nice shot into the Hellcat 105 there, which puts him down to a one-shot. And now we, again, are waiting for the reload. We're boosted with food the moment that the reload comes in, so that we've got the quickest reload we can possibly get on the clip, which is always the nicest thing to do. As soon as you get the chance to reload your clip, always boost with food if you have it, so that your reload will go, so you have the best DPM, essentially, you can possibly have. And we're at 3.1k damage. Okay, we probably need, again, to get this third mark in this game, another 3,000 damage. And hello, Mr. King Tiger. Oh, thank you, sir, for just, again, driving out and giving us some lovely shots. And we shut down the King Tiger, putting us on to 4,073. This game is working out absolutely spot on perfectly. Now we're waiting for the clip once again to come in so that we can move forward. We're just watching that Eagle 7 that's at E3 because he could possibly get shots into our side if we're not careful. But I want to push the tempo again. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like we're probably at a point where we're holding the mark now, and this is where I want to push. I want to push aggressively and start pushing out more damage. I know I can clip this Panther out with well, I can just finish him off with one clip, and that's exactly what we do. We get rid of that Panther with one clip. We're up to 5,049 damage now, 1,000 more damage, and I'm probably fairly happy that we might be there. I mean, you never know with Marks of Excellence. They're fickle things, and they like to go, oh, you thought you were there? No, 99.49, or 99 point, you know. For a third mark, it'd be 94.99. It would be 94.99, and you'd be like, thanks. But now we're loaded. We're just looking for the shots. We are detected, which makes me go, okay, what is still looking at me? Is that Hellcat 105 over here somewhere? No, it's possibly something that was at C9. Then the Eagle 7 drives out. We're having some good elevation issues. We end up bouncing something from the right, and unfortunately our auto-aim shot into the Eagle 7 originally ended up bouncing, but we shut down the Eagle 7 there with that clip. It's really sad that we bounced the first one, because we would have been able to finish off that Hellcat 105 too. But we're up to 5.6k damage with 1,300 assistance from spotting as well. As long as that's not split between spotting and tracking, we could be there. But again, you have to make absolutely sure. You can't just go, oh, I think I'm there, and just, you know, go slack. You have to keep pushing as much as you can to make sure that you're getting your damage in. And unfortunately, we catch a shell from the Dragon that's sitting at the back at C9, which is really unfortunate because we kind of need those hit points to be able to take shells to trade, you know, a shell for a clip, etc. And we only have one clip of standard AP left. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the safe way, and we're going to climb up this hill along the A line to see if we can get any shots at the people that will be. Because at this point, most of the team for the enemy team is going to be around their cap. It's going to be in the corner at B0. They're going to be on their sniper hill probably at B7. And hopefully we can get there to get the shells. The UDES 03 has got there to be able to start shooting the artillery, and he ends up shutting him down. Now we're getting to a position where it's like, okay, that's a medium tank. Hello, Mr. Dragon. Remember me? Luckily, the snapshot ends up doing a track shot there to keep him in place, and we get the final shell through the side of that T28 prototype. We're up to 6,500 damage and 1,400 assistance, and at this point I'm pretty certain I've got the third mark. Just waiting for the reload once again to come in, because that Eradicator sat in the perfect place. I'm like, come on, gun, get these shells into the clip so I can get some damage. The Eradicator gets spotted up. We're ready. It's like, hello, Mr. Eradicator. Oh, and unfortunately that shell hits him as he dies. And then we just snapped the... I don't know why we snapped that shot at the T28 Proto. We didn't need to, and that meant we ended up missing the shot. And you can see visible rage. Lots of visible rage. We ended up missing that shot on that T28 Pro, which is really annoying. And I'm looking at him going, he's going to die. I'm not going to get there to get the final shot into him. I mean, we're at 6.9... We're nearly at 7,000 damage, 2.3k assistance. I mean, what? 9,000 combined? And I mean, there was a bit of tracking in there, so it's probably more like 8.5 to 8,000 combined. And we finished that game with a really, really great total for the Sgt Slaughter. The ace tanker, the sniper, the high caliber, the third mark of excellence for the tank. Actually, it was 95.01. Look how close it was. 2.5k base XP. So, yeah, that was very, very close to not getting it. So this is why you've really got to maximise everything you can to push it to the limit to get the mark. You can't just sit content that you might have had it. Finished with 2.5k base XP, a really great game for the Sgt Slaughter. That's the third mark of excellence for this tank, and oh, what a tank it is. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!